Okay, so that's it, recording from now. So as I said at the start, it should say 105 rather than, hold on, flying over. It should say 105 rather than the 100.
Somebody at our door.
Oh, is that
your
dog?
Yeah, sorry. There's somebody at the door. That's our doorbell.
Okay, same as ours. Jesus,
Oh my God.
if there's a car in the street there, just fucking go
Oh
mad.
my.
Oh, I'll give him a minute till he gets it out of his system. Okay, so it's saying it should be a chain of 105 and then the treble in each stitch the whole way along just to the end.
Right.
I have a 104.
It was 105. Sorry, Catherine had pointed out there that it was the wrong way around. So it was 100. It's supposed to be 105 to give you 103 stitches. So even if you have your chain already done, it'll come as long as you have the 103. Then by the time you get to the end of it, and you can put an extra one just at the end if you need to.
I'll just stick one on now.
In the 103, obviously one of those is the chain three. Yeah.
That's okay.
So the chain at the start counts as a stitch.
Okay, are we all just at the stage of
Yeah,
doing
we're all everybody's at the same point. Sorry.
Okay, that's dead on.
Well, Linda, how are you?
Oh God, having a meltdown there. Computer decided to do an update.
Oh Jesus, Shirley.
Don't you know?
Just wanted to give you a little bit of a panic attack. That's all it was. So actually, do you know what I'm going to do? I've just realized this is recording my hand as it is in this top screen, which isn't really going to work because I'd rather it was bigger. So I'm just going to change the way you're appearing here on my screen. It'll obviously not affect you. It'll affect how I see things. So should be me here. So just give me 2 seconds. I try and pull me into the middle. So that's me now. So that's me, big hand stuck in the middle of the screen for you for your video then later on. So Jenny mustn't have been able to get on maybe this evening. She had said earlier on she had problems with her hands or something. So
That the girl from England, is it?
yes,
Yeah.
So and we'll have, as if anybody's doing the mandala, we'll have a girl from Canada. Above all places. So we're going global at this point.
Very far and wide.
God knows what she will make of us.
He's here, yeah. We got the no swearing. We just have to be very good and nice.
We'll have to speak very slowly as well.
I know.
Nobody understands me at all. Everybody, see when I used to be on the phones a lot, so I used to be taking claims for people from all over, and they used to all say, "Are you from Tyrone, girl?" And I was like, "No." It's like, "Are you sure?" And I was like, "I think I know where I'm from." Like, like, "Well, where are you from then, daughter?" And all, you know, just because I sound sort of real country, but I don't even, like, whenever I say I'm from Lurgan, they're like, "Oh, all right." So it just, I don't know, it's strange because I've no real connection to Tyrone or anything. Like, I can see the lock from my house, but that's about it.
Pick the accent up off the lock.
I must have done. I must have just sailed over or something, like. But I don't know. So any Canadian people, I'll have to talk very slow, very, or maybe just not talk at all.
Oh, you won't be the only one. Sure, I'll be as bad.
We'll just listen.
Let her speak.
Michelle, I will believe that when I see it.
No, we'll just listen.
I'll be thinking there's something wrong with your screen or your mic.
Yeah, you had me muted or something. You'll probably be doing that, hey? You probably will be muting me.
Not at all. Okay, so the first row is just the entire row of trebles, just to begin it.
Oh, I finished my square for my cushion.
Oh, good woman.
So there, look, you see it? And I put a wee rose on it.
Oh, it's lovely. It actually
Lovely.
turned out really well.
I'm going to put, I have another 2 on the go here, so I'm going to put 3 in the corner, and then I'll back it with just ordinary, just back with material.
Very good.
So, that'll be that then. I told my mother-in-law to take it down and show it, because it started when I was down at Her House one day. So I says, I'll take you the finish one day when I've it done.
Very good. So just let me know whenever everybody has that first row of trebles done, and we'll move on then to the next one.
Remember, Fiona, we were talking the last night about the clover hooks or about my yarn
Yes.
splitting.
Yes.
Well, I ordered, actually when I was on that class, which was sort of 2 weeks ago the night, I ordered just one 4mm clover hook.
Yes.
Waited and waited and waited. It never came.
Oh.
Don't know what has happened to hook, but they've refunded my money anyway. But they couldn't get me one, and I was ordering wool for this from, I think, the wool warehouse or somewhere like that, and I went in to look at the hooks, and I saw there was a tulip hook, because
Yes.
they weren't going to be able to get me the clover one. So I ordered a tulip hook, and I think I found my hook that I love. Only the set of them's £90.
Holy heavens. And how many hooks is that, Heather?
That's 10 hooks, but I've worked it out. You're better buying them separately. They're about 6. They're the same price as the clover, but it really is a lovely hook. And then I figured out I did have a clover hook, and I didn't like it.
Yeah, no,
In the bottom of
some
my
people don't like them. Heather, can I see the tulip one there? Can I see the shape of it? Oh, it's more flat in the middle, so it's more.
All right.
But my clover one was completely flat, and I didn't. But I didn't realize I had one of them
You
until I
one
was
like that?
hooking.
So you see the flat clover one that you have? It's not the Amur range. The flat one
Right.
is the Waves range. So it's like a. I think. Well, ladies, one of you uses.
I got the soft touch, so I did.
Is it not your woman in England? Is it not a thing that uses?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, Emma's the one that Emma has as well. It's quite flat. The soft touch.
Yeah.
It's quite flat. Listen, it's whatever works for you, but certainly do see the higher
But
quality.
you know, if I'd have got the other one, if the other one had come, I never would have.
I know.
I wouldn't
know.
I wouldn't have just ordered the tulip one, and I really do like it. I even noticed I'd found some cheap cotton, and I was doing a couple of bags,
Yes.
and the cheap cotton splits, but even with this hook, it doesn't.
Yeah.
So
It's to do with the quality of the, not only the hook, but this part of the hook here, the part where the point is. So if if the steel is a good high quality steel, then there'll be no little nubs or anything on it, so it'll stop the hook from splitting. Also, this metal won't get warm, so that prevents that splitting then as well.
So I was impressed, or you know, I was sort of glad the way the whole thing all worked out.
Yeah, oh no, I'm sure you were. But apparently you can't get the clover armor Amur at the minute for love nor money. You could just
No, I was looking, but I seen that's why I got the soft touch. But I thought it was bigger, you know, because I like a big handle. But that's not as big as I thought. But it is still nice and smooth, so I'm happy enough to use it. But Lorna has a load of these ones in her shop. I seen them.
Was she?
Another one, yeah, of these ones.
I was too busy looking at the one.
I'm going. Well, I was down last Thursday, and I think
What day were we, Fiona? Was it Tuesday we were down? No.
Oh God, I don't even know what day it is. I honestly don't know. One of the days. No, it wasn't Tuesday, because she only opened, I think, on the Tuesday. It was maybe the Wednesday.
Right, okay.
I think so anyway. I think it was maybe the Wednesday. But
I'm sure I got the one for the wee flower thing.
Oh,
What
yes,
is it?
for the wee African flowers. That's next week.
And here, when do we finish this then?
You'll be able to finish this yourselves tonight. It won't. Shouldn't.
Will we? All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just we'll see how we go for time. How long it takes us to get to the halfway point. So row let me see. Row 7 is the middle. So we'll be working on the puff stitch, and then when you have that puff stitch done, that's the midpoint. So we'll see how we go then for timing and things.
Right.
It shouldn't take us that long. Like, I mean, it's not a massive project.
It's not a big scar for making.
No, it's not. These are all working away very hard there.
Oh, very slowly. I don't know what.
You're all right. You're not slow at all. You're all right.
Well, I've the mustardy one done, but I'm going to do. I have this one done, but I'm going to do the cream one just to.
Well, I just grabbed a random ball of double knit because I thought I had iron there, and I do, but if I had used it, you wouldn't have been able to see it. It was too dark, so I thought.
Well, this cream one I have now is iron. It's a.
Well, it's ideally supposed to be made in iron, but you can make it in chunky and you can make it in double knit.
That's it. There, the one that
adjust your hook. Yeah, it looked lovely, Michelle.
It is actually. That's what I said. I says I'll go with the other one started when you said I'd go with the cream, and I went. So this is giving me a chance to get both of them up to the same level, and then I'll see what one to work with.
Which one to go with?
Yeah. But see, this one here is only a size 4 hook.
Yes, but you're quite loose. Your tension would be quite loose, so the 4 will work okay for you, I think.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. Yeah, so I just stuck with the 4 for the iron one. Now the other one I used the 5, and it seems okay.
Yeah. Well, iron should be 5. Double knit should be 4. Iron should be 5, and then chunky should be 6. Depending.
Well, this iron one says a 4. It says 4 on it.
Oh.
Oh fuck! It doesn't. It says 5. I'm stupid. I couldn't see him even wearing the bloody glasses. So
the other thing is, ladies, this cowl, the star stitch that's in it is not a true star stitch. It is a star stitch. So I shouldn't have said it like that. It's not a complete star stitch. So what we're going to do is you'll do 2 rows of star stitch on top of each other. Traditionally, and whenever we're doing it, I'll explain how you would do a standard one whenever we've 1 row done. The way I've done it is you do a star stitch in 1 row and then you finish it off with a star stitch in the next row. But traditionally, you should be placing half trebles in the next row. But you'll see yourselves as we're doing it to finish the little eye off. And these are all going, what? I haven't a clue what she's saying.
No, we just let you talk on there and then.
Oh, you're just right to let me talk on.
This just shows you how counting goes for me, by the way, at the minute, Fiona. Look at the extra with my 103.
Okay.
I obviously ballsed up my chain for.
So, Catherine, what you can do, so I'll just show you with this. What you can do is, do you see this knot here? So if you've gone and you've too many, try and make that a wee bit brighter. So you've gone and you've too many. Just unpick that. See that knot? If you unpick that knot, you should just be able to pull those stitches out until you get to the chain. And actually, ladies, do you see if you're making a scarf, that's a good idea to do. So if I'm making a scarf and I'm not quite 100% sure how many chains I need or whatever, I'll chain a random length. I'll wrap it around my neck. I'll see do I like the height of it. And then I'll put my entire first row of stitches in. And then when I get to the end, if like Catherine, you have maybe 10 or 15 or whatever left over, I'll just unpick the knot and pull it out. Now, so you just have to do it very carefully. And let it seal before you go any further so that the whole thing doesn't unravel. But it's nice to be able to do that. Now, you can only do it at that point. If you've gone on further, obviously, you can't. That's as far as you can do it.
What about the wee lad? How is he, Fiona?
He's all well. God love him. You know, I think he's got the worst luck in the world. So he was supposed to be going up to his school tomorrow for his like leavers picnic or something. I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah.
He has to go to the fracture clinic. So I rang the fracture. I never thought. I rang the fracture clinic back and I said to him, look, he has to go and do his wee levers thing. Can I push it? So they've given me a 45-minute pushback on the appointment, but he has to go to the fracture clinic. There's no...
Well, where's the fracture clinic now? Is it near your...
No, it's in Craigavon.
It's in Craigavon.
Yeah. Everything's in Craigavon, so...
That's freaking ridiculous, isn't it?
It is.
Yeah, it's not a handy road down. Like when I used to work in Newry, like I worked in Portadown, but I worked in Newry too. And when I come back, I had to go through Tandragee and wherever.
Yeah.
Like, windy road.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Bad
me
road.
getting to Craigavon from my house, but not from Newry. Like I don't know how you do it.
Yeah. It's not even that. It's Craigavon is overwhelmed. Like when we get up there, there's nowhere to park, and then there's just and plus Daisy had sitting there and nobody's doing anything. So
yeah, bad.
And by the looks of things, that's the way it's going to be. Everything is going to be Craigavon.
Everything is. They're closing down the leisure centres. Yeah. They're closing down the leisure centres in Portadown and in Lurgan, and they've built a brand new one in Craigavon. It's opening, I think, in August, and they'll close down the two either side of Craigavon. And then the TAC wants to build a big campus at the lakes as well, and then that'll be the leisure centre, the college, and then the shopping centre all in the one place. And there's a whole big row because the college wants to build and it'll take up half the lakes, and the people from Craigavon are complaining that like they've took the council to court over it, so they have, because the council wouldn't give them their plans, and the plan, it took them the guts of 2 years to get it, and when they seen what all it was going to be, it's like practically rebuilding Craigavon at the expense of Lurgan and Portadown. So it really is, like, it'll kill off them two towns, so it will, but they'll go ahead and do it. So they will, and it'll just be everybody trying to get to Craigavon, and it can't cope.
I don't know.
No. It's like they're so desperate to get it up and running. Like, that was their big pet project back in the 60s and 70s, and it was always the city it never was, they called it. And they can't let it go. Like, they have to, can't let it fail. So they're just going to put everything they've got.
I know, but I don't understand them putting all the facilities from Daisy Hill into Craigavon, because it can't cope with the size of the area already. And then they put in the Newry area. Well, the Newry area encompasses everything from Cowl and along right across to
right to Cullaville.
That's what I was going to say. Out the whole way. You're talking, I don't know, like you're talking massive amount of area.
Even when I worked in Newry, the team I was in Newry, they were talking about moving them, and there was a whole panic where they were going to go. There was talk of sending them to Dungannon at one stage. That was not going to suit anybody. Like, it wouldn't even have suited me, like, and I don't. But they moved to the Portadown, and there was one of the girls in she lived from Crossmaglen, and like, sure, it's half an hour, from Crossmaglen to Newry. Why was she going
and then after that?
Like, so she they kept her in Newry, but she's not doing the same job. That's the only way they could keep her, like, and she wasn't too happy about that, but she'd been less happy having to go to Portadown every day. Oh, just not ideal.
Nope. I'm ready. Anybody else?
Yeah, I'm just on the bit in the pattern where it says the last stitch goes into the third that you skipped at the beginning. Where
are you reading that?
Where are you reading that?
Row 2.
Oh no, everybody's still in row 1.
Oh, sorry.
You're all right. So
I sort of missed the beginning, so I couldn't get on the internet.
You're all right.
So
Heather,
you're all right.
see what it's talking about, right? So when you go to turn, okay, so you've already done a chain 4 to turn there. So what it means is in the third chain of the chain 4.
Right, but sure, no, wait, I didn't realise that wasn't.
You're all right, you're okay.
I'll sit on my hands and not do any more.
That's all right, I was reading, I was going, oh my God, where is she reading that?
Like, shit, did I miss something?
Listen, I didn't think I was going to be able to do this class tonight. I says to my husband, I says, I'll not be able to crochet the night. And he says, you really must be bad. I took awful dizzy about 4 o'clock and I don't know what was wrong with me. I don't know.
Dead heat.
A vertigo or I've hurt my neck and I don't know. And then I says, I'll not be able to crochet the night. And he says, well, you must be bad if you're not be able to crochet.
That's how my, you know what? That's how my husband gauges everything with me.
Oh no.
So I took a few painkillers and hope for the best. So if I sort of passed out, that's what's wrong.
Owen, can you try and train the puppy in the living room? I'm not there. Thank you. I don't know. Why do kids always decide to come out of the kitchen whenever you're trying to do something?
Oh, sure, it's always the way.
Owen thought it was a great idea to try and train the puppy behind me at the same time. Like, no.
At long last.
It's very long to do that, isn't
I
it?
think I have
Sorry.
103.
It's okay. Do you know what? We can wing it. If you don't, we can wing it at the end. It'll be all right.
Dead on. I'm on row 2 now as well.
Okay. Is everybody finished that row 1? Let me see.
I'm not, but I've only a couple more stitches, so go ahead.
Are you sure, Jennifer? What about you?
Yeah, you go ahead, yeah.
I'm on row 2.
You are on row 2, right? Okay. So we'll give row 2 a start, and then Linda can catch up. So it says it's chain 4. So that chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. That chain 4 counts as a treble stitch and as a chain 1. And I'm trying to hook here to see have I got a stitch marker, because what I was going to do was suggest, if you're not sure for coming back, what you could do is you can put a stitch marker into the 3rd chain. So just here, and then that'll indicate to you whenever you're coming back across again where exactly to put
For your stitches.
that last chain. So I'm just look in this wee basket first. Yes, I've one in here.
So, stitch marker into the 3rd chain from the hook. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
1, 2,
So the
3.
one hanging off the hook should be your 4th chain. So the one just underneath that. So just underneath that. So you can count up even from the bottom, 1, 2, 3. So just in there. Just put your little stitch marker in and then turn your work around. So as I've said previously, it doesn't matter which order you do that in. You could have turned around first and then done your chain. It's just personal preference. So I always like to have my chain done and then turn. So what you're going to do is you're going to skip this. Do you see there's your chain there, and then you have this stitch beneath it. So this chain and this stitch are all connected. So that's one treble that's there. So you're going to skip it. You're also going to skip this one here, and then you're going to put a treble into the next. So you're skipping this one because your treble's already coming out of it. You're skipping the next hole and trebling into it. Okay. And then you're going to chain 1, skip 1, treble. And you're going to do that the whole way. So just your standard mesh. So where you do a treble, you skip 1, you chain 1. And you're just going to do that the whole way across.
Sorry, that's out my back now.
Sorry, Marie, what's wrong?
That's out my back now, the drill.
Oh no, I couldn't hear it.
So do a treble.
Here.
A treble and then immediately chain 1 and then skip 1 stitch, Michelle. So it should be, do you remember I talked about the little
Big
ladder?
hole. Oh, I see it now. Right.
Just
yes,
like a
yes,
ladder. So you're going to do that the whole way across. So this is where you find out if your stitch count's correct. And also we can work it if it's not, so don't worry.
Oh, we're always skipping one then.
Yeah, all skipping one the whole way across. That's just a standard mesh stitch. And you're just doing that then the whole way over to the end.
It's a bit like the ladder one, isn't it?
It is, yep.
The one you're doing for the flower.
Yep, exactly like it. Oh, mesh is very, very popular.
Okay.
And it appears in lots of things.
I printed the pattern out the other day at the dentist, and could I find if it had a fucking printed again? I'll find it now somewhere sitting where, like,
You will.
back there. Yeah.
It's always the way.
At
We're
the
in
end of
tomorrow
the
for
first
our
row,
kids' leavers.
Sorry, Fiona. At the end of the first row, how many stitches should we have?
So at the end of the first row, you need 103.
103.
But as I say, if you don't, we can kind of work it.
Yep.
on
That's
the
it. I've
next
done.
one.
I've got it. Yeah.
I just put 2 into the last one when it didn't
So
work.
the other thing you can do, instead of having to go back and count all them, you can every 10 put a stitch marker in, and then it's
That's
easy
what I do.
to
Because I'm
see.
useless at it. I always end up missing something.
I was wondering why you had them in, Linda. That's a good idea.
It is a good idea. It's
pattern.
absolutely brilliant. But do you know what? It's like everything else. I think you get overconfident and you just don't bother. And then you think, I'll just count them. That's okay with 100 stitches. Maybe not okay with more than that, you know. But
Did you mute yourself? Is everybody muted?
No.
no,
Yeah.
just
I couldn't
me.
hear.
Just
I was
me.
thinking, did I do something wrong there?
No. Owen had let the puppy in.
Oh, I seen it with your red one the other day. Oh, Jesus, I laughed. I said, that one there's going to knock down.
Oh my God. Do you see the puppy? I don't know how it's actually possible, but Jürgen's 16 months old. Jürgen has never dug in my garden. Now, he has stolen wool, but he's never dug and he's never misbehaved. The two of them now have a hole underneath my fence dug. And I went out the other day and the puppy's in the middle and Jürgen's digging away. And I'm like, you're actually doing what that puppy wants you to do. What the hell is wrong with you? So the poor dog is easy led and the puppy's nuts.
Oh, Jesus, I.
So
You see, that's what the children are like. You
Yes.
find the quiet ones that would do nothing get led astray.
well, that's what's happening, Marie. And you know, he's as placid. This puppy has him tortured. He's biting the neck of him. He's swinging on his ears. And he's just sitting with big sad eyes. It's just...
Oh, bless. He's probably thinking, when's this fucker going away?
I know, but then the same thing, that they'll be in the bed together then that night. But anyway, right, so coming towards the end, and I know yous are not there, but I'll just explain it whenever we're here, because I know some of yous are over the end. Coming towards the end, you'll have your traditional treble here, so the normal treble stitch, and then you'll have this that looks weird. It's like a bobbly stitch that isn't quite a stitch. That's your chain that you've skipped at the very, very beginning. So what you need to do is you need to find the top of that chain. So you're just going, there's the stitch, and then beside it will be the chain, and that's where you're going to put your final treble into. If I can. And then that finishes that off. Excellent.
I'll be away yet.
No, you're all right. There's no rush.
Should be a lot of ones looking to do the classes now, isn't there?
Oh my God, I couldn't get over the cardigan. The cardigan.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I missed it. I thought,
Oh my God.
Yeah, well, I looked this evening and you said class full, and I thought,
Yeah.
holy crap.
Marie, it was full 5 minutes after I put it up.
Yeah, I think
That's
it's just something
mad.
different, Fiona.
I think
get- you
that's
get
it
the
too.
same thing. It's just nice to do something different.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought. God, well, to be able to do a wee cardigan would be something. I don't know what I want a wee cardigan for. There's no babies.
But you know
coming.
what? The pattern, I've purchased the pattern for everybody that signed up for it already, and I had a good look over it there. And she goes right up from, on the night, I'll only be doing the 3 to 6 month version, but she goes right up to 7 to 8 year old. So, I mean, there's plenty of scope in the pattern. But if I thought there was enough interest, I'll run it again, just to see. It's going to need the 3 weeks, though, because,
Is that what it is? It's a 3-week class?
Yeah, because I think I might do the main body, and then another week will be the sleeves, and then she's a lot of appliques on it, so they'll need a class really on their own.
That's the wee rabbits and all them things, is it?
Yeah, she has like rabbit and a flower and a couple of different things on it, so she's very good. Like, I mean, she'd no bother at all when I was talking to her. She's like, she was happy enough.
I had a follower on Facebook. She's some lovely stuff, hasn't she?
Oh, she does. She does some nice stuff. I think that the nice thing with the cardigan, though, is that there's no sewing involved in it. Usually, like, even the wee cardigan that I designed for Peter Rabbit, you have to sew it together, and it's a pain. Whereas this, it'll be interesting to see how it turns out now because it's all one piece. But as I say, I can run it again. If I thought there was enough interest in it, I can run it again and see.
I would be interested, Fiona.
Yeah.
I didn't realise you'd
Did
be
nobody in
coming
this
into
group get it?
I can't believe none of you. Honest, hold on a minute.
For it.
I didn't expect they were coming from all over the world to sign up for
Oh,
it.
Jesus,
I know you're that popular.
Well, do you know what? I didn't even share that one. That one was only shared in the group itself. It didn't go anywhere else.
Did I not put down for it?
I think you are, Michelle. I think you get
Is
in
Linda
straight
not
away.
down for it too? Is Linda, you're not down for the week cardigan?
She is. Let me see. No, actually, no. It's just Linda and yourself and Jennifer. Jennifer's there as well.
me.
Now, there's 2 other ladies have their name down, but they haven't got back to me. And if they don't get back to me, there will be 2 places available for it.
There we go. Right.
But no, I'll certainly look into doing it another night as well.
I probably need the second time round before I get it finished.
No, do you know,
Yeah, me too.
I could take us all on the one night, but I'm terrified of doing it like that. Because do you see the way all your wee screens are there?
Mhm.
And I can look at you and look at your faces and know what's going on. Do you know what I mean?
You can tell whether we're struggling,
Yeah. Whereas if I had more, I don't know. I don't know if I could.
Okay.
No, I'd rather not. I think it would be too much. So we'll see about maybe doing another one. Or even doing a smaller group, if it was just the like of yourselves that wanted the little cardigan, well then sure we can organise it.
Even if you're doing maybe a different night or something.
Yeah. Well, I'll be depressed the night I'm doing it with yourself anyway, Michelle and Linda, because I should be sitting in Lake Garda on that night. So.
Oh dear.
Do you know
I
what?
emailed today. I had booked to go to Gdansk at the end of April there.
It's in my diary. Look, God.
Oh, no way. Oh, look at the wee face. But I emailed today. I'll be getting my money back, and she says to ring tomorrow. So that was the end of April that I was meant to go.
Right.
And it's only taken to now.
No, well, actually, I have to say, Ryanair cancelled our flights. Ryanair have been rubbish. So I contacted the credit card company, and they were the money's back in the account already. So
there you go.
Yeah, we did the same.
Yeah.
I just contacted the bank, and they did it within 10 minutes.
There you go.
yeah.
We were getting no response from our crowd.
I think it's
Ryanair just wants you to take it for another time. They don't want to give you your money back.
To be quite honest, I would have no problem doing that. The problem comes, we don't know what way we're going to be next year. So I don't really want to take that chance until I know everything's back to some sort of normality, and I will fly with them again. Like, there's no problem flying with them. It's just not yet.
No.
Yeah.
Well, Ryanair are actually taking bookings.
Oh,
at
they
the
are,
moment.
yeah.
Yeah, but for the 4th of July and the 11th, the 4th and the 11th of July going to Turkey.
Holy God.
And there's people who I know who had already booked earlier in the year with them for the 11th of July, and they've been told that their flights are cancelled. Now they're only 50 euros for the flights going, but I've said they're probably getting you to book the flight.
Fine, in, but
Then
charged.
it's going to be cancelled, and you're sitting, maybe it's a family of 4, so there's about €300 when you throw in your suitcases.
That's right.
And then you
How
have
many
to use
stitches?
them.
Sorry, how many stitches should we have now?
So do you see if you look at the
Or many of them wee holes?
do you see the
Would that be
brackets
better?
at the end of that pattern, Michelle? It says 52 trebles and 51 chain spaces. That's what you should have, ideally.
So the wee hole is
But
the,
if
is the
if
space.
you've gone right to the end and you have a final mesh stitch, then you'll be right, because you can't go wrong then. So if you're
Yeah,
coming
well,
to
that's,
the end,
yeah.
you will be right. The
Can you
stitch
see it
counts
there?
are just in case. Let me see, because now you're very small. So where are you? Oh, can't find you, Michelle. There you are. Yeah. So
Does
is
that look right?
that final stitch over in the chain? Yes, it is. Yeah. No, that's grand.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
ladies, has everybody finished row 2 now?
Yeah.
Okay, so row 3 is almost a repeat of row 1. The only difference is that it is no longer a treble stitch that we're doing the little half treble. And what you're going to do is you're going to have 103 by the time you're finished. You're going to chain 2 to start. Oh, sorry, I'm trapped here. So you're going to chain 2 to start. I'll just knock the camera and everything. And then what you're going to do is you're going to half treble in each chain space and each treble the whole way across. Now, you can do it 2 ways. You can half treble in the big space. So you can just put the hook into the big space and half treble like that. And that's fine. And then you'll half treble in the next stitch. Or you can actually find the chain itself and you can go into the chain and then half treble. The difference in the 2 stitches, I don't know if you can see that clearly there. So when I pull this light down another wee bit.
So how do you do a half treble again? I'm
So
stupid.
just
Oh, you
yarn
go
over.
in.
So yarn over into the hole, pull through, yarn over, take off everything. So if you can see that in here, this is the part where I've just gone into the space. So the stitch is just kind of hanging in midair, and if you pull the stitch, it moves. Whereas the stitch in the treble doesn't move and the stitch in the chain doesn't move. And also the stitch in the chain and the treble will be the same height. The stitch in the space will be slightly lower. Now, in the grand scheme of things, it won't really matter. It's just personal preference, whatever you prefer to do. So for quickness
All
sake,
right, can you tell me?
so
Shit, can you tell me that again?
you're all
The
right.
chain two, how do you chain two?
Put your yarn over,
Okay.
go in into the stitch, pull your yarn through. So you'll have 3 loops on.
I have 3 on, right?
Okay, yarn over, take off everything.
Okay, right. Okay.
So as I was saying, the faster way to do it is just to go into the big hole. And I have to say 9 times out of 10, that's where I'm going. The call the midwife blanket, if I was doing it, I would go into the chain space itself, because it'll make the wee fillet, it makes it set out more clearly. Whereas if you're going into the gap, it doesn't really, it's not as clear. My instructions are also as clear as mud. So you're just doing that the whole way across. You all right, Catherine?
Oh, I'm all good. But you were talking about Carrie Jane. I actually ordered or bought her a book of baby blankets and hats today.
Oh, lovely.
There's some nice ones in there now.
Okay, do you know what? Her patterns are really lovely and they're very easy to follow.
Yeah.
And she seems a genuinely nice girl as well. So, you know, another designer, whenever I would have contacted her and said what I said, might have went, no, sorry, you're not allowed to do my patterns like that. Because really, you know, it's her design. This is different, me doing this with you guys. This is my design, so it doesn't really matter. But,
yeah,
you know, it's her design that you're sort of giving out. So she's been very good. Pardon? My two are killing each other in there. I can hear them rabbing away.
It's always the way, isn't it? When you're on the phone or something, the kids is usually batting the shade out of each other. We used to be like that, you know. My mum would give us the look. She said, "Just you legged off this phone."
Well, you see,
Oh,
this is
yeah.
it. They know that I can't give them the look because I'm nowhere near them.
Oh, Jesus.
Oh, it's desperate. But sure, what do you do?
I have an old sock bag, and my two were killing each other today. And for punishment, I give them the old sock bag, and they had to purr up the socks.
I'm sure they were raging.
But you
They're
see,
not doing that again anytime soon.
yeah, by the time they're finished, they hate me more than they hate each other. They're back sleeping again.
That's a good one. Now.
Mm.
I thought you were going to say you hit them with
I
the
know,
old sock bag. Because that's what I would have been
You
doing.
can't hit.
You're not allowed to hit them now.
No, they bring child line on you.
I'd be saying, here,
Oh.
give me. I ring child line myself.
I remember my brother, when he came home from primary school, he must have only been, I don't know, P6, P7, something like that. And he hated school and he hated schoolwork. And he came home this day and he was fighting with mommy about the homework. And they must have had a talk in school. And mommy said, if you don't get up there or whatever, you know, and start that homework, I'll bust you, or whatever she said to him. And that was, what did you call the one? There was a woman you could ring from Childline.
Esther Ranson.
Esther Ranson, that's what it was. I'm going to ring Esther Ranson and you, because you're making me do this homework. And I can still see my mommy's whole face darkened. And she said, I'll fucking give you a reason to ring Esther Ranson.
Yeah.
Oh, the good old days, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, Christ. Desperate.
It was like when you were told, if you were crying and you were told,
I'll give you something to cry about.
I'll give you something to cry for.
Yeah.
Do you know what? Looking back at some of the things people said, it's just, it's crazy.
I know.
So if you've used the stitch marker and you're coming across to the end, that's where you end off. Wherever that stitch marker is, that's where your final half treble is. So just put your stitch into
Yes,
that.
I'm nowhere near there yet.
Oh, I know you're not, but just whenever you are, you'll know where to go. You're having a wee panic attack, Owen. Apparently the dog got blown over by the wind whenever he went out to go to the toilet.
This is your house is not wise.
Oh, you have no idea. You've no idea.
It's a drama.
I know. Well, at least it's relatively quiet. Usually Owen's sitting on the drums. So it's
Oh,
relatively
God.
quiet tonight. And Finn can't play the guitar, obviously, because he's no hand.
Oh, happy days.
I know. Well, he discovered he could still hold the PlayStation controller, so he's delighted.
Yeah.
Which one's the wee fella with the glasses? I seen him in the street.
Which one's the what?
The wee one with the glasses. I seen him in the street the other day when I was down with your house.
Oh, that was Finn. That was Finn.
Right.
Because Owen
Okay.
wouldn't. There's no way Owen would be out in the street.
Oh, right, okay.
I know you would be playing the drums, yeah.
No, I could practice playing drums now.
Right. Shh. This is going to be where the fun begins, because this is going to be the start of our star stitch now, this next row.
That's where we crack up.
No, not at all. I think we've all cracked up a long time ago.
You have to be half insane to do all this anyway. Don't we?
No, this keeps you sane. That's supposed to be the saying.
No, I don't know about that now. I don't know what it would keep me saying. Fucking naughty anyway.
Well, this is it. Like I say, it keeps me sane, but it actually drives me insane. So
Yeah.
keeps me busy, I suppose, is really the only true response.
No, surely. And do you think maybe will there be anything, come when the kids go back to school, will you be able to go out and do things?
I don't know. If they're keeping the distance rule, so In schools, apparently, it's going to be the kids have 1 meter distance, but the adult working with the kids has to keep 2 meters distance. So,
well, we were in school the other day and measuring the classrooms, and one of the classes, the teacher has 28 children, and she can only fit 18 in, and that's taking everything out and only have tables and chairs. So there's nothing in the class. Yeah, not even the teacher's table. Everything's out, just the kids' tables and chairs, and that's only 18.
I just don't know. And in terms of an actual crochet class, I can't tell you, because I would need. It's the same as me working in school. I would need to be close to you, you know, in order to.
Yeah. Yes.
I don't know. I really don't, and I don't know if the community centres are even going to open again. You know, because at the minute there's no word of them opening again. I suppose I've no answer, and that's why I sort of decided then for the summer that I'd run classes right up to the end of July and then take a break, do nothing in August, see how August sort of pans out, both with our own school and, you know, community centre, and then hopefully maybe in September have something set up. Like I would have run a class with the school last year, not a class, kind of like a drop-in thing, but like, I mean, I don't even think that's going to happen. I don't think there's any point in doing it. Because
they'll not want anybody in.
Yeah, but I don't know if people will want to come in either. You know, people are. I imagine some people are still very afraid. You know, and understandably so. And it's okay at the minute because we don't really have big numbers. In fact, there's very few people with coronavirus. But if it comes back and the numbers increase again, then, you know, what do we do then?
Yeah. Well, South Korea has a second wave now. And it's come across again.
Yeah,
and I think Germany's had a big jump in cases. Yeah, France apparently had a big music festival there at the weekend, I think. So I
think out of all of them, Germany's the one to worry about, because Germany very much had it all under control from the very, very start. And the fact that it's jumped there again, it's worrying.
Yeah, well, you see, I think Angela Merkel didn't want to open up because she's some sort of a scientist. And I'd watched her one day on the television just before they opened up, and she was explaining about the R rate and what would happen if the R rate was not point whatever, and if, you know, as it went up, and how many people would be infected. But because she's not now in control,
why is she not in control now? Is she not the thing?
She's trying to retire, so she is. Yeah, well, she's holding on.
Will she be leaving at the end of the year?
I think so, you know.
It's in a coalition government, so the rest of them have been pushing for opening up, despite the fact that, as a scientist, he didn't think it was the thing to do.
But you see, I think that's the thing, that now it becomes about the economy and getting the economy.
The economy,
Science doesn't make any money. Business makes money.
I mean, England have opened back up and they never got their R rate under any sort of control. They were still, and still are having large numbers of infections. So I just don't know, and that's the only answer I can give you, Michelle, is I don't know. I don't even know when I'm going back to my own job, you know. I just don't know. So, as I say, for the foreseeable future, it's not ideal. The Zoom classes, as much as they are good crack and you do get work done, it's not the same as being there in person. And I think I might have said to you before, Michelle, I've literally been pointing at the screen sometimes, you know, trying to show you where to go. And obviously that doesn't work because you can't see what I'm pointing at. But no, we'll see. But in saying that, they've been a lifeline. Like the ladies that have been doing the classes with me from Cedar, like they've gone from not being able to crochet and now they are. And you know,
Binky is flying, so she's made a lovely big poncho.
I cannot get over Binky.
Unbelievable.
Like the lady's story for a start is just, it's just incredible. She's so inspiring, and she's gone from never picking up a crochet hook to designing her own poncho. Like that was all her own design.
Oh, it's lovely. I've seen it.
No, she's a lovely.
Well, fair play to you, Fiona. Like, you know, fair play. You know, because communication is tricky over this kind. So she obviously has picked it up. You know, face-to-face has its advantages and this here has its disadvantages, but you know, to have been able to have
Well, the like
the
of
message
Binky, the
across
like
so
of
she can pick it up.
Binky was never going to be able to come face to face for a long time anyway. It's the same as her and herself because of what had happened to her and
Yes.
her mobility and things. So for her, it has been sort of, you know.
Yeah, big thing.
But
Seen on one of the Facebook groups, there's a wee one. And to me, the woman sounds something similar to her. You know, she seems like there's a whole lot of health conditions and things going on. And she had put up messages maybe a couple of times a day, and she'd been trying for weeks and weeks, you know, just to do a chain. You know, and she would like go up and then come back down again, and you know, people are, oh, fair play, well done, and all. And I think she got so far. She says she needed somebody face to face. You know, she couldn't do without, you know, somebody showing her.
Having,
you know,
it's
what
the
she
same
did so
as somebody,
far.
anybody teaching. It's the same thing.
Yeah.
When you're sitting right beside somebody, be able to put your finger out and show, look, there is exactly where it is. It's so much different than a screen. But
but I seen a message, just I don't know if somebody chased her, somebody must have said something nasty to her, but she took herself off the page. So she did. Must have just had enough of once, no slathering to her or whatever, and she just took herself off.
Too, unfortunately, it does seem to happen quite a lot.
People have to be little to be doing.
But then
like I'd say the wee messages, I can. That's it. When you're behind a keyboard, you think you're all talk and all brave, like, you know, but say it to that woman's face, like, I dare you.
I know.
But, you know, she was trying her best. So she was, and just, that's some people for you, like, I don't know. Okay. You wouldn't say it to somebody's face, don't say it at all, I think.
No, you're right. Right, I think everybody has finished that half treble round, looking at you all there.
Yeah.
Right, so we're going to start this.
Take the stitch ripper out, or the stitch marker out.
Yeah, you can take the stitch marker out. You'll not need it for now. So the star stitch begins with a chain 3, if I remember correctly. Let me just scroll down.
Yeah.
It's chain 3. Okay. So 1, 2, 3, and the same as usual. I'm going to turn it around now. So what I want you to do is that first chain that's right beside your hook, I want you to go put your hook into it. So, and pull through a loop. So you'll have 2 loops on your hook. Then I want you to go into the next chain and pull through a loop. You'll have 3 loops on your hook. And then I want you to go into the first stitch, pull through a loop. You'll have 4 loops on. Then into the next stitch, pull through, you'll have 5 loops on, and in the next one, pull through 6 loops. So 6 is the magic number. You need to have 6 loops on, okay? When you have the 6, everybody okay?
Right. Sorry, just go back to your 3 loops.
Yeah, no, I'm going to pull it all out and do it again with you.
Well, yeah, do it again. Okay. Just talk.
So you've done your chain 3. So what you need to do is the chain just beneath where your hook is, you put your hook in and you pull through. So that gives you 2 loops. You go into the next chain, which is your 3rd chain, you pull through, you'll have 3 loops. Then go into the actual first stitch, pull through, 4 loops. The next stitch, pull through, 5 loops. And the next stitch, pull through, 6 loops.
So you end up just above the treble then?
You do. So
you do.
Yeah, you do.
All right. Yes.
Right.
Okay. When you have all those loops, what I want you to do is put your yarn over one more time and pull through everything that's on your hook. So your tension should be nice and loose. Now, not too loose, but just nice and loose that it pulls through and creates, see that kind of like arc shape? And then you finish that shape off and you seal the stitch off with a chain 1. That chain 1 creates like an eye. So do you see that hole that's left behind? That's the eye.
I'll be back in a wee second.
You're all right.
Yeah.
So that's the eye of your star. So that won't actually be finished off until the next row. So star stitch always takes place over 2 rows. First row is the setup row where you do the main points of your star. The second row when you're going back is when you finish off the star. So what you're going to do is you're going to do that the whole way across. So you need to take it up inside. So when you started off there, you were doing it with the chain 3. So you work the chain 3 and the first 3 stitches. When you're doing it from now on, you need to take it from the eye of the star. So you're going into the eye of the star, you're pulling through 1 loop. Now you're going in here. Do you see this line of stitch? So in
Yeah.
behind that line is where you're going. And you're pulling through. That's 3.
Yeah.
And you're going beneath that into the hole, which is
Yeah.
4. So by the time you're leaving the actual star, you should have 4 on it, because that 4th loop,
Yeah.
if you look carefully at it, that's still got that stitch attached. So by the time you're leaving that, you'll have 4. Then the next one,
Okay.
5, and the next one is 6. So all your loops should come from the star and then 2 afterwards. And then again, the same process. Yarn over, pull through all 6. Finish off with a chain 1. So you see that they kind of look a little bit almost like stars. So it's star stitch or a jasmine stitch. Jasmine stitch is the other name for it. So we'll just do that together again. We go into the eye of the star first, into the chain 1 space, pull through. That gives us 2 loops. The trickiest bit is the next bit. So it's not the hole that you're going into, it's the line above it. So in behind that stitch, and you're pulling through to give you 3. Then down into the actual stitch, the last stitch of your star gives you 4. The next one gives you 5, and the next one gives you 6. When you have your 6 loops, put your yarn over, pull through everything on your hook, and chain 1. And you're just going to repeat that the whole way across then. So as long as you have 6 loops on your hook at all times, you're right. So this should more or less line up above the mesh spaces. So it's just that line of the stitch there, and it's just literally behind it. So you're working into the side of that treble from the previous row. These are all concentrating because it's all gone very quiet. Heather, are you okay? Yeah.
My laptop was about to die, so I had to run and get the charger.
Right, see you later. Sorry guys, somebody came to the door for me there.
You're all right.
I'm alone.
Shell, you had just finished off making your first star. So what we're going to do is show you how to make the star then the whole way along. So do you see the chain 1 space that you have? So the little hole, you're going to put your hook into that little hole and you're going to pull through. You'll have 2 loops on your hook.
Okay.
Okay, then do you see this line that's running down from the stitch? See this line here? Okay, so you're going to put your hook in underneath that line. It's the side of the stitch. So you're going to go in underneath the side of the stitch and you're going to pull through. You'll have 3 loops on your hook.
Oh shit.
You're all right, take your time.
Do that again, sorry.
Yeah,
oh God, I'm
right.
sorry, girl.
No, don't be sorry, you're all right. They're just working on across. So
right, I have 2 on. I have 2 on here.
Okay, so I have 2 on now as well. So do you see here? Do you see this big hole? That's the bottom of the stitch. So just above the bottom of the stitch, there's a straight line running. Do you see it there? See that straight line?
Oh yeah.
Put your hook in underneath that straight line and pull through. That'll give you 3 loops.
Okay, but it looks a bit funny.
Oh no, it will look a bit funny. Do you see the next big hole? Put your hook in, pull through. That'll give you 4 loops. So literally the one just beside that line.
Hole.
Well, to me it's a big hole because it's pulling. See there, that's pulling. So just put your hook into the next hole beside the part where the line is.
Yeah.
Okay, then you're going to go into the next
4
stitch.
on.
Yep, into the next stitch, pull through. That's 5.
Oh God, right, in the next stitch. Right.
and into the next stitch, that gives you 6. So you'll have 6 all together on your hook.
Okay.
When you have 6 all together, put your yarn over one more time, Michelle.
Right.
And then carefully pull all the loops off in one motion.
Okay.
Then,
What's it supposed to look like?
Then you need to seal it with a chain 1 to do your little chain 1.
Oh, so this is only half of it.
It's only half of it. A star stitch is worked over 2 rows. So the bottom part and then the second part finishes it off. So you're
Right, I'm going to put it to the thing and see, does it look right? Can you see that?
Yep, that does look right. Yep. So you're going to go back into that center hole again where that chain 1 space is, Michelle, and pull through. That gives you 2 loops.
All right. Then down into that room.
Down into the straight line. Yep, pull through. Down into the hole beneath the straight line, pull through. You'll have 4 loops. Into the next stitch, 5 loops, and into the next one after that, 6 loops. Then pull yarn over and pull everything through chain 1. And just repeat that process then again.
Hope for the best.
You'll be grand.
Give it a go.
It's a yarn eater as well. It's a yarn eater of a stitch, but it's quite pretty when it's done. So this is I always use this for C2C border. So I would do a row of the jasmine or star stitch and then a row of crab then after it.
I don't know what that looks like, but anyway.
So it should look something like that, Michelle. So it'll not quite be a star yet. You'll just see all the stitches pulling together.
Yeah, well, that's what it looks like. I was thinking, does that look wrong?
No, it's grand.
Everybody's gone quiet.
I know, we're all concentrating. Me
Concentrating.
included.
Talking.
I have an awful habit.
Concentration.
I know, I have an awful habit of doing 5 instead of the 6. So I have to concentrate as well. It's that rushing, you know, oh, I'm almost there.
Mine's pulling a wee bit, but some of them, I don't know what, you know, whether you shouldn't be pulling them tight. Each sort of
No, they shouldn't be. You shouldn't have them pulled tight. They should be nice and loose. The tighter your tension on it, then it's not going to form the star. It's the same really as a puff stitch. So do you see, I'm at this point now. So if I had my tension all tight throughout that, when I go to take those off, first of all, they'll not move through it very easily. Loosen the tension. So just see the tension even just like that. It's just enough that pulls through, but without pulling the stitches. So it's not loose, but it's also not tight. That's as clear as mud. It's one of those things, you'll figure it out as you're doing it, but if those stars are starting to pull on your scarf in that direction, you'll ruin the look of your scarf. Those jasmine stitches should be lining up really with the meshes underneath.
I think it's maybe pulling at the start where I was unsure of maybe what I was doing, but I think it's sort of
that's the other thing too. This is the first time that you have come across this, so I wouldn't expect anybody's tension to be 100% either. And then the more you practice this stitch, then the easier it becomes as well.
To me, it was the count of the row below. I don't think I had been putting into the trebles I was just going into the chain spaces before, and then when I tried doing this, just sort of myself, and it
Yes.
was like puckering almost, and it meant I hadn't enough.
Yeah, you wouldn't
in
have
the
enough
row
in the
below,
row before. So if you think, even if you had to skip the treble but had 2 stitches in each chain space, it would have worked.
So I pulled it out and I put in, and it's the right amount of stitches now, and I can see a difference.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've said before in different classes, like crocheting, you can get away with a lot of things because it's full of holes. But if there's a stitch count, chances are you need to count at some point. Now, not all parts of the pattern you'll need to count, but certainly, like, I mean, the very first row, you definitely have to count in this. The second, third, well, definitely the third. But once you have the hang of it, then it should be okay.
I was counting to 108 in my sleep. I was doing, the bag that you gave us, or the pattern, the market bag. So I've 3 of them done now.
Oh, very good. You did the other one as well. You did the summer one, didn't you, Heather? And it turned out lovely.
Yes, no, 3 of the summer one done.
Yeah,
very good.
Your cream one was lovely.
So no, I was just using up cotton yarn that I had lying about. So I've 3 of them done. I've that yellow one, and then I've a grey and white one, and then I've just a cream and yellow one. So I started. I've 3 of those summer totes.
Very good.
I don't know what I'm going to do them for, because I don't really go out much, but I don't know. I'll figure out. But it's keeping me amused. That's all.
Give them as a present. Give them as a present.
I seen, and when I was in Banbridge the other day, there's a wee shop, do you see, down where the Friar Tucks is. Every word of me is where the Friar Tucks is in Banbridge. But it's down, and it's like one of these refill shops, so you bring your containers.
Oh yes,
and you fill, and I thought it was brilliant. And they're selling the wee market bags, £12 each.
Wow.
There you go, Heather. You may as well make a few pound, and see if you're willing.
Well, I was sort of thinking, like, I bought a couple of job lots of cotton wool on, I don't know, eBay a long time ago. I don't know, it was to make things for my face, or I don't know, and dishcloths. So I had some of that left over, but I was even sort of thinking, I know people that volunteer for a charity shop, and I started thinking, like, even sort of doing them and throwing them in there, and they would really go well in there. So because I can do one in a sort of a night nearly. I can do one of them, if you know what I mean. But I was counting to 108 in my sleep.
That's the only thing. If you could get rid of the initial starting rows, it would be wonderful.
It's ain't going to be a while doing this to get to the end.
You're all right. So as I say, this isn't a traditional star stitch. A traditional star stitch, when you turn now to go back, you would be placing two half trebles in each eye of the star, and that would complete your star. But of course I had to be slightly different, and you're going to make another star stitch in the one above it.
No, mine looks like yours. So.
It's quite hard to see mine actually in that light, I think. Oh. Sit there.
Yeah, well, I changed my wool from the mustard to this marble that has the goldy colour in it, and that's what I was worried about, that I couldn't see the star at all, and I can't really see it unless when I do the next row. So I'll rip her out later on and just continue.
I think the variegated, it doesn't, I think it needs a solid color rather than anything variegated. I thought you
If you're doing
really,
anything fancy, doesn't it?
yeah, I
Yeah,
thought
well,
really,
that's what I thought was going to happen.
yeah, because I thought you were going to do this bottom bit in the marble and then change back to the mustard for the center bit.
Right. Well, that actually would be an idea. It was just
Well,
with
I must have read your message completely wrong, because that's what
Yeah.
I thought you were going to do. I thought you were going to
No.
do like a cuff on the end of it.
Yeah, no. I sort of thought it with the mustard. If I did a hat and gloves, I thought, oh Christ, you'd see me coming for miles. And that's why I thought the marbly one with the goldy fleck in it
Yes.
would be more subtle, but it's just not going to work. At least doing it that way, it's not.
Is it very much hidden? It probably is it?
It is, yeah.
Well, I have an ombre thing. I got a couple of different colors in it, and it's I think it's showing the stitches up quite well. But then it's like sort of stripes. It's not, this. My star stitch is not there's no variegation in it. It's a solid line of the star stitches, but I quite, it's a boho spirit or something. It was supposed to be iron, but it's very thin if it is iron. Well, but I like the colours of it, so.
Is that the one you're using now, Heather?
Yeah. But as I say, it's variegated, but the actual stripe there's no variegation in it's sort of coming out in stripes. I'm not explaining it very well, but
yes, I know what you're
sometimes
talking about,
yeah. Sometimes you can get a yarn and whatever the stitch you're going to do, it'll match, the colorway. So if it's quite a nice long change, it should work all right, which I think maybe is what's happening with yours then, Heather. Heather, is it Signet Boho Spirit? Is that what that is?
Yeah,
So it's the same as the Riots. So
yeah.
Yes, it will be significantly lighter, because the Riots double knit and the Riots chunky the chunky is almost more like an iron, and the double knit is certainly more like a 4-ply. So they're still lovely, and I use them all the time. But
I went in and I thought I was buying iron wool, and I thought it was iron weight and thickness or whatever. But the only shop I have been in is the shop that I was in Lidl, and I met Michelle.
Yeah.
So I haven't been out, and I was sort of going, I know that lady from somewhere, and then it suddenly dawned on me that it was, I'm used to seeing you on the screen. So
Jesus,
and that was the first time I've been in the shop.
Probably better than I just look like a pair of hands.
Who am I looking for on Friday now?
God, are you?
Just a pair of hands walking into
I'll put
Lorna's
my
shop.
hands up.
Oh God. Oh dear. No,
So that's why if I haven't been in the shop, so I was sort of just buying my thing online. I was I'm sort of a bit bad at going into shops, but so.
I had bought this one in Craft World whenever it was closing down. It was the longest closing down sale ever. I think it started from January, and they're closed, I think, the middle of April. So this one, but Lorna's shop does it too, so she does. But it was £11 something. I think I got it for half that. I said, so I'll take that, but only got one. I wish I'd have got more.
Is that the big iron balls?
Yes. Yes, the big.
They're like 800 grams, aren't they?
Yeah.
Oh.
£11.40. I'm going to keep that because it's got a Craft World label on it, a wee price sticker. That's a wee memento, so it is.
So there's wee flex.
Handy for me.
There's wee flex all in through that, Emma, then, is there? Yeah, it'll be lovely. Yeah, they're really good value, those 800 gram balls.
Well, that's what I thought, and if the measurements are right for this, I'll have enough to make 2. So
I think you'll have more. You'll have more than enough of that. How many meters is in that?
800 and something, I think.
Yeah, no,
840, 920 yards.
And
so
what is this? This is 300 and something.
300 and something. So yeah. But then all the wee tassels and things too. I might...
No, actually, it's the 300 yards, including your tassels.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. Happy days. Happy days. But I spotted them in Lorna's shop when I was down the other day. So if I run out, no, I know where to get them.
Well, I've promised myself I'm not going into Lorna's on Friday. So when I come up,
it's my payday, so it is. So I'm just like, oh God.
I'm not.
No.
I swear to God, I can't, because if I come back with more, I have nowhere for the wool to go.
No, I know.
And even when I was up the other day, when Michelle was in there, it was buying wool just because it was in the shop. I have no need.
I want to
for
go
what I
empty-handed.
bought,
And then I was in Hobbycraft yesterday, so I was...
Well, what's that like? Because I'm going to go down next week.
It wasn't too bad. Like they've somebody standing counting. There's 15 allowed in the shop at one time, and the girls and boys are running about wearing masks and things, and the screens up. But
are you time limited? Because I imagine Hobbycraft, I might spend 3 or 4 hours in it.
I know I'm the same.
I don't think you are. I don't think you're time like when I was in a good while. I was allocated an hour. Not by me, but Joey says you're only allowed an hour in this shop and no more, because his him brought me down. And I think it was in half an hour just, and so much for like, I'm only getting one thing, and I came out with a bag full of stuff. But
well, I'll give you the laugh. This is why you shouldn't buy on eBay. So I can't find the really, really tiny. Oh, I can. So I needed silver beads to put on tassels on the end of a new design that I'm making. So I saw these and I thought, ooh, they'll do exactly the job I want.
Oh.
So
for jewelry making.
And I didn't learn my lesson, because I also went and ordered some more. And look, they're all the size of the wee tiny.
Oh, they're lovely.
Oh, they're lovely.
They're jewelry making ones, so they are. They're for see the first ones there, the like a wee clamp, you know, it sort of keeps
they're
the
like wee
safe.
findings, yeah.
Yes.
So, I have learned my lesson. Stop buying on eBay, because
deadly.
I know I bought wreaths. Oh, you want to see the size of the wreaths?
Oh, I've done it with wreaths before.
I was like, what the fuck is that? Am I supposed to do with these?
Yeah, I've done it before.
I would have done a doll's house.
But I thought I put in the right millimeters, but obviously I didn't. And obviously I saw those and just went, oh, they're silver, they'll do me. Yeah, nope. And then the big ones, look at the big ones, they're massive.
Oh, that's too big.
No, they're not. I would need them that sort of size, because they're to go, you know, in the end of the tassel.
Oh,
so,
yes.
You know, sort of thread it in. So I have to wait until I go to a physical shop.
I think if you're ever up in Belfast, you know the wee shop at the side of Primark, the wee bead shop there, it's open, so it is, and it is literally 2 at a time, because it's so small a shop, but it's open, so it is.
In Bourne there, you know, buttons and beads.
Yes, it's not open.
Yeah.
It's not open.
Or is it not open?
No.
Yes, right, okay.
I've already tried that.
He's bringing in masks and stuff from China and selling them.
I don't believe you.
Yeah.
Your man in that place?
Yes. It's a cousin of mine.
I was saying nothing bad then.
Oh, well, you can say whatever you like. But no, that's what he's doing.
Right. No, he told me I could. It was actually quite abrupt. I sent him a message the other day and asked, just, you know, is the shop open again yet, or when is it open? Because I wanted to get down and try and get the beads. And I got a very curt reply back to go and shop on eBay. And I was like, nope, I don't want to do that.
No, well, that's it.
Well,
you know,
when
I was
back near him.
It's container loads of masks that are coming in from China.
So, ladies, I'm just watching you, sir. Some of you are finished that star row, are you?
Mm-hmm.
Very nearly.
Hold on, start finishing with the half turn.
I can't decide if I'm finished. I'm coming towards the end of it, and I'm a bit
okay. So, if you're not sure, right, I'm see this last one for me. It wasn't right. Yeah. I don't know where. I've run out of a stitch somewhere. So this,
yeah, that's
I'm going to, instead of doing 6 in this one, I've just done 5. So I've done 5, pulled through, done my chain 1, and then put my half treble just in the last chain. So you can cut it short, and that's your fiddling about with it. So if it does end up one short, as long as you end up with that treble or half treble in the very end, you'll be all right. Whereas if you
As long as
stopped
we
it just
only end up with
beforehand,
one short.
well, you should really only end up with maybe one short. Are you all right, Marie? How many short are you?
Yeah, no, I don't know. I'm just
Oh, that's
not
all
that
right.
far yet.
Well, I'm not there yet either.
Right, I'll hang on just for a few minutes then. That's no rush.
So what row is this now we're at?
Row 4. Just finishing row 4. So as I say, row 9 is row 8 actually is just past the halfway point. So row 7 is the middle row. Your puff is the middle row, and
This is what we do then again. Is that what you're telling us?
So I'm saying, because I'll take you as far as the puff. I'll actually take you as far as the row after it, the row 8. But then the next row, the 2-star rows, the half treble row, you should be okay with it. You should, well, if you're not, say so, and we can stay on. It just depends how long it takes us to get to that point. But you should be okay with it. I think once you've done 2 rows of the star stitch, it's really just the same again.
So when you're doing the next row, just basically this repeating row 4.
It is, yeah, it's just exactly the same. You're still going into the eye. So let me just see, and I'll do it with you here for a wee minute. So you're chaining 3, and then your start will always be the same, where you're going into that one right beside the hook for 2, then into the last chain for 3, first stitch for 4, and then the eye is 5, and the next stitch is 6. Pull through, chain 1, then you have the eye, the side of the eye, the stitch just below, you have the star, and the side of the star. That creates your 6. Does that make sense?
I'll tell you in a minute.
So you're using the eye, and then the same way as you normally would have.
I'm not sure that does actually.
Okay, I'll just do it with you again. So you're using the chain 1 of the eye of the star. That's 1, or sorry, 2 loops.
No, I pull back. I'm way back to chain 3.
Oh, right, sorry. I'll come back.
No, don't be sorry. It's me.
Oh, you're grand. It's me. I didn't realize where you were. So you've got your chain 3. You go into the second one right beside the hook, and you pull through. That gives you 2 loops. Then you go into the 3rd chain. You pull through. That gives you 3 loops. You go into the first stitch, pull through. That gives you 4 loops. Then you go into the eye of the star. That gives you 5 loops. And then the little line at the top of the star before the see the eye of the star here. That's the eye of the star. Just the little line just before that. So you go in there, and that gives you the 6. So you should always be finished just before the eye of the star. Pull through all your loops, chain 1, and then repeat the same process again.
Right, sorry, I've come to the end of my row. I've done my last star, so then it's just a half treble.
It is, yes, just a half treble into the very last stitch.
Nearly there.
You're all right.
2, 3.
Right, go for slow from there, Fiona.
Okay, so you're going to go, you have your chain 1 eye. You're going to go in there, that's 2. The wee line beside it is 3. The side of it is 4. The next eye is 5. And then the next line is 6.
That's heavy now.
So you'll be going across the top of 1 star to finish just before the next one. That makes sense?
Yeah, no, it does. Do you know what? It's a dark wool, so it's. I'm finding it.
Yeah, you're the taily color, isn't it? Yeah. So
yeah.
It might be a wee bit hard to see. you doing? Well, I think you're fighting a losing battle there. Ladies, would a Tuesday night suit you for the cardigan?
Any night suits me.
Yes.
Yeah.
As long as I get to it.
I know nobody has any plans for doing anything. It's just desperate.
Every night, no matter what.
No, I am going to try maybe if things stay quiet for maybe the end of August sometime to try and go away just down south or something. Somewhere with a beach.
So I'm on,
near me.
what do I do at the end now?
So did you do your half treble, Michelle, once you've done your final star?
No.
Okay, so you need to finish. See the way you've got a star here, and then you need to finish with a half treble in the very last stitch.
Okay, do I still chain the one?
No. Oh yes, you always chain the one to finish off your little star. That chain one isn't on its own. That chain one forms part of the star. So it's kind of just part of the whole thing. So it's kind of like
what do you say, half treble into the...
Yes, half treble in the end, please.
Round, round, and take them all off, isn't it?
Take them all off, yeah. And then you're chaining 3 and starting your stars again then.
I don't know if these look right.
So they'll just kind of look like wee half stars.
What do I do now?
Okay, so you've got a chain 3 there.
3, I've chained 3, yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to put a chain 3 here, so it's the same sort of thing. So into that second chain, you're just going to put your hook through and pull through. That will give you 2 loops. Into the third chain, you're going to pull through. That will give you 3 loops. Into the next stitch, 4 loops.
Hold on.
Into the next stitch, 5 loops.
4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
So you need 5 and 6. So you need to go on across into the next couple of stitches.
Right.
You leave 6 loops.
6, right?
Okay. Now you put your yarn over, pull through everything on your hook, and chain 1. And then this time it's slightly different, Michelle, because your stitches aren't as clear cut. So what you're going to do is you're going to go into the star, into the chain 1 space of the star. You'll pull through, that'll be 1 stitch.
Hold on, I had to pull that out. It didn't look right.
You're all right. Jennifer, you have company there to try and help you crochet, do you?
I always have company. My shadow. But he's decided he's going to stand up. He's fed up standing on the floor waiting on me to cook for him.
Right, hold on, I go again here. So 1.
Hey, you all right? Good boy, aren't you? Were you away for a walk? Good boy.
So do you see the chain 3? How many do I need to come out of that, if you know what I mean?
So you're coming out of that with 3 before you go into your first stitch.
Right.
And then your first stitch will give you 4.
1. Right, there's the 3 then. Okay, right, first stitch. 4. Second stitch.
Okay. Have you had that one made, Michelle?
Yeah, but I'm near the wee hole. Should I be?
That's okay. Yeah, you should be finished on the wee hole. Yep. So what you're going to do
So
then
that's
is...
the 6 stitches in the hole.
Yeah, I think it was. I need to pull back to it.
The hole, is it?
Hold on. I'm coming right back to do it with you.
Sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Don't be silly, you're grand. 1, 2, 3. So you go into the second, and that gives you 2. Can't get it out. Into the third, that gives you 3. Into the stitch, that gives you 4. Into the eye of the star, that gives you 5. And into the next line of the stitch, that gives you 6. So it should be just before the whole of the chain one. So do you see the way, Michelle, I'm finished just before that?
Oh, well, I must have missed one then. Hold on, I'll go again. You work away with everybody else.
No. I want you to get it. I want you to get it right. So coming off the chain, you should have 3.
Right, 1.
Ladies, has anybody finished row 5?
Nearly.
No.
Maybe I must have missed something out.
Oh, you're all right. It's just I was trying to look at just engage with what you were doing. Right, Michelle. So you're ready to do this next one now?
No, I'm not. I'm still trying to get into the friggin' right hole for this. Right, there's 1. Right.
Right, are you ready for this next one? Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if I've enough here, but sure, I'm at the... Shit, no, it's not working out for me. I'll have to go on. No, you work away there. I'm just going back to this 3.
Right, so I'm going to do the 3 with you. So 1, 2, 3. So Michelle, into the second one from the hook, pull through. That gives you 2 loops. Into the third one.
Wait. I pulled off too much. Sorry.
You're all right.
I shouldn't have went away and took the friggin' door. 1, 2, 3. Right, now
Turn, and then go into the second chain from the hook. That will give you 2 loops.
1. Okay, that's 2 loops.
Okay, third chain from the hook, that gives you 3 loops.
3. Right.
Okay. Follow that stitch down and directly below. So do you see how close I'm going? It's not a true stitch, it's just there. So I'm going in there, that's my 4th one. Go in, pull through. Then the next one is the eye of the star from the previous row. That gives you 5. And the next,
I see that now.
The next one is the line of the star before the chain 1 space. Go in there, that's 6.
That's me 6.
Pull yarn over, pull through, chain 1.
Okay, right, now what do we do?
So now into the chain 1 space you've just made, that makes 2. Into the line just below of the stitch.
Sorry, into the chain. What do you mean? Into that with the whole circle.
Yes, into the eye of the star, yeah. So that's your 2. Then into the next, in behind the side of the next stitch, that's 3. Into the bottom of the star stitch, that's 4. Into the eye of the next star stitch, that's 5. Into the side of the next star stitch, that's 6. So you should be finished just before the next chain 1 space. And then you do that the whole way across.
What's this going to look like?
Michelle, you're not feeling confidence at all tonight.
No, I'm not. I'm not actually. I'm not. I'm just not with it at all. It's just not doesn't seem to look right.
Right. And instead of doing the star stitch there, Michelle, what you can do is you can put 2 trebles in each the whole way across. So what you're going to do is pull back from me. And
okay.
Instead of chaining 3, chain 2.
Right, give us a wee second here. I've ripped out the other row. Sorry.
Oh, you've ripped out the star row as well.
No. I
That's
meant
all right.
the last wee.
I nearly had a heart attack.
No. I just the last wee star ripped out. I'm go back now to. Sorry, girls. I'm just stupid
You're all right.
tonight.
You're all right. We're just.
Oh, I'm really slow. You're all right, Michelle. I'm nowhere near finished my row.
Me either.
Michelle,
I'm
I'm
not
just
either.
doing it. I'm just doing a hitting and hope. I'm just doing a hitting and hope. I don't know what it's supposed to look like. I'm going in and something's coming out, but it's not right because my head's not in it either. So you're definitely not in your own tonight.
Awesome. Don't be so bad. Right, so I'm at the end now. So
Okay. So, and then ladies, this will be unrecorded. So then if you don't want to do the 2 rows of star stitch in the future, you can do it this way as well, and it'll still work out the same.
Oh, and do me travel 3, right?
You're going to chain 2 at the start instead, Michelle.
Oh, chain 2, right, sorry.
A
Right.
chain 2 is going to act as a half treble, so you're not going to work where that chain is coming out of. You're going to go into the next stitch, which is here, just before. Now these stitches have been worked a bit because I've been going back and forward there with you. So the next stitch, no, don't apologize. The next stitch should be the eye of your star from the row before. So you're going to put a half treble in this. I can't even speak now. You're going to put a half treble in the eye, and that chain 1 space. Then in the next stitch, you're going to put a half treble in the side of the stitch, a half treble into the eye. Is that right? Put 2 in there. Actually, Michelle, come back. We'll make it easier for you.
Okay, why?
Okay.
Because I'm not stupid.
No, we're going to chain 2, and then in each chain 1 space, each eye of the star, put 2 half trebles.
Right, so I'm back to what again?
Just chain 2, and then put 2 half trebles in each chain 1 space of the star across. Doesn't that work out right, doesn't it? It does. Okay. Do you see this part here, Michelle? See that part that looks like a little eye? It's a wee circle.
Yeah. What am I putting into that?
So you're putting 2 half trebles into each one of those the whole way across. So you don't have to do anything else. You just have to do the 2 half trebles into that star. And that'll finish it off. And as I say, ladies, in the future, if you wanted to change the way you're doing it, you can do it that way. It's just a more simple way of doing it rather than the double star.
I think it's easy. I could get it on the first row, but when you turned it round,
yes, when you
I don't
it
know,
round,
it's maybe
stitches,
just my brain in my head tonight.
Yeah, the stitches aren't the same.
It looks completely different.
Yes.
No.
So if you are finding
and that's the thing that sort of...
Mine looks deformed.
Yeah.
Well, do you know what? It shouldn't look deformed whenever you're putting the chain 2 in, or the 2 trebles in. When you're putting the 2, do you see the way that's changed? And that now looks, see the way the round shape and the star?
Mine doesn't look like a fucking star.
Heather, do you want to pull that row back and just put 2 trebles in each chain 1 space as well?
I have lovely stars, but I'm not confident I'm putting them in the right hole. It looks right, but I'm just not confident.
Yeah.
But
do you know what you could do?
It looks grand.
Like what I did.
I think it's just my head tonight.
It could be. What I did, I made up a little swatch whenever I was rewriting that pattern for tonight. I just, instead of having to make the whole pattern up, I just made a little swatch. So that's how it should look. So there's, like a double row of the 2 star stitches together, and then this puff row that's coming next. It will still work if you don't want to do the double stars. It will still work with the 2 trebles. And as I said at the start, that's how a traditional star stitch is actually done, with the setup round of the star and then just the 2 half trebles to finish it off. So it'll work either way. And as I said, that's the beauty of recording this then as well. Now you may...
I look back on it, just...
You may have to skip through it to get through all the... whatever
we're talking about. Right, so when I have the 2 half trebles put into the hole,
So you're
Do I
just,
go straight into the next
you're
hole?
going straight into the next hole. Yep, the whole way across, just 2 half trebles. And you see, you can tell it'll work out because on the pattern it says there's 51 star stitches. So if you're putting 2 half trebles in each of those 51, and then you'll have one at the end on its own and one at the start, it will work out. Catherine, don't quote me on my maths. I'm just assuming that it works.
I'm saying nothing about maths at the minute. Jesus.
Oh, here, are you booked in with Aisling again yet?
No, I told her I was going to wait and see how the whole thing goes before I go. I'm paranoid, so I'm not going for one-to-one appointments or anything.
Yeah.
Apart from her.
I have my hairdressers is now stopped. She's pregnant, so she's not coming back until.
Oh, she's
the new year.
having a baby, isn't she, Tara?
Yeah. So I don't know, and I do you know the one thing I do miss is getting my nails done, especially if you're doing videos.
Yeah.
I like to have your nails today. So.
I do want to get them done, but I just was like, give me a few weeks and then I'll see how the lay of the land is, see if there's any spikes again or whatever.
Yeah. Oh God, now you've made me paranoid.
No, but that's just me, Fiona. That's
No,
just
but
me.
no, I understand because I haven't been anywhere. I have been in Lorna's shop, and that's really it. I've been in Mulcairn's twice.
Yeah.
So I haven't really been anywhere. So I might even wear a mask. I'll see.
Oh yeah, I wear a mask anytime I go into a shop.
Well, to go to the hairdressers, you have to wear a mask.
Yeah.
Right.
It's on the list of things or whatever.
See, Tara cut my hair that short just before lockdown. I don't need to go to a hairdresser's ever again.
I do for my colour.
Oh, my
Oh, well,
colour's
I do
fucking-
for my colour too, but I've sort of resigned myself to just letting it go.
There's an awful lot of people's letting themselves go grey.
Well, you see, I wouldn't mind if my hair was all the one colour. Like my mummy and my grand and all, they went white. And I wouldn't mind if it all went that colour at once. It's going a wee bit of this and a wee bit of...
I can't think what you call her. Do you know the girl that's the leader of the Green Party in Northern
No,
Ireland?
Claire Bailey.
Claire Bailey. Did you see her on the news last night? My God, hers is down to here.
There's a girl in Marcus the same, so she's...
What does that look like? Can you see that?
Hold on a wee minute. I'm going to move you over. Hold on. Just hold it up a wee bit higher, Michelle, because I can't see. You're holding it way down your boots. Yeah, no, that is what it's supposed to look like. So, do you see the way it's on mine?
That's all right. It's not doing too bad then. That's only me at the start of it, so...
You're all right.
It'll take me a while.
So, ladies, the row that I just did there now, you're actually going to do for row 6. So that is the row that you do on row 6 is the row that I just did there with Michelle. So, Michelle, you're going to be like me. You're going to need to put a half treble in each stitch for your next row. So row 6 for you will be 1 half treble in each half treble, whereas the rest of the ladies will be doing the 2 half trebles in each eye.
For what's that be? Row 6? Is that what you're telling me I'm doing?
Yeah, you're doing. Well, no, you're doing row 5 at the minute. You've just done it.
Right.
Differently.
Yeah, but when I come to row 6, am I?
So when you come to row 6, I'm actually changing row 6 for everybody. So row 6, I've currently written that you place a half treble in the eye and the last loop. But what I'm actually going to get everybody to do is place 2 half trebles in the eye, and that'll make it much. I think it'll make it a much nicer shape.
So row 6, place 2 half trebles in each eye, and that's it.
That's it. Ignore the last loop.
So many rows of these stars that we do for the.
That's it. So you have the 2 rows there, and then you'll have the half treble row after it, and then the puff row, and then that's it. So then you repeat that on the other side. So you just have the 2 rows either side of the puffs.
Oh right. Okay. Is the puffs hard to do?
No.
Easy when you know how.
Yeah.
But you're gonna know how now in a little bit.
I'm trying to go as quick as I can here to get to the end.
You're all right. I'll get a big stick out for you, Michelle.
Okay, sorry.
You're grand. I think most people are still working in that row 5 anyway.
Yeah.
Fiona, it's quite funny because you were talking about getting your nails done. I still haven't took off the gel polish that Ashley did.
I saw your nails. She has it on
Look at them.
Instagram. And I knew it was your nails as soon as I saw them. You're so good. I would have had that picked off a lifetime ago.
I swear to God, because I just thought I'd make her laugh, and she was just like, "Oh my God!"
And you see, do you know what? I'm in 2 minds of getting them done again because it's taken that long for my nails to come back to some sort of.
Well, do you know that's my other thought, because I've got it grown it out this much that I'm going. I don't know in a few months' time if I'm gonna have time to be going to get my nails done for an hour.
And you know, there's nothing worse than whenever you have the gel polish on and it's chipped or it drives me insane. So yeah, I don't know what to do. We shall see. But then I don't have the time or patience to paint my own nails.
Yeah.
I don't have the nails. I have to get the other ones stuck on.
See, I couldn't cope with the stuck on ones. I really couldn't. I would stab somebody with them.
They're great at the start, great for back scratching. They're very sharp.
They're gouging people's eyes out.
Yeah, well, no, that could be a thought too, like.
Have you all got booked in with your hairdressers again, or?
No, well, not me, because Tara will be there.
No, mine's a cousin of mine, and she just said, I said, look, just ring me when you have a slot.
And funny, now that you're saying that, I wouldn't have gone to the hairdressers because I think it's too soon. So now I'm going, why am I going to get my nails done?
I know, yeah.
Well, I have a hairdresser's appointment. It's on the 17th of July.
Right.
Right, okay.
But that was as soon as Alana could get me booked in, but Alana is completely booked until the middle of August now.
Yeah, I'd say so. And you know, for me, because Tara's not going to be there, and I don't trust anybody. It sounds desperate, but I think everybody's the same. You get used to the one person cutting your hair, and especially color. I don't like getting my hair colored, but she does. But you ask her to. Well, most times she does.
Oh, she's lovely, Tara, isn't she? I love some of the hers.
Well, I swore I was very nearly going to kill her in March because I had gone out in March and said, Tara, I was thinking of getting my hair cut up really short into a bob. And I literally said thinking, and she had it cut. She did it with a razor at the back of my head. And I was like, I wasn't prepared for that. But change is good as well. But I don't know what I'm going to do.
Well, I haven't even tried, you know, because I'm a wee bit reticent about going to the hairdresser. So I haven't even. And my hairdresser, she put up a thing on Facebook and she said, look, you know, during lockdown, you know, we'll get everybody fitted in. Should have worked morning and night. But I just don't want to go. It's a big hairdressers, and there's about there's about 5 stylists, and they would have each a client, and they're all self-employed, and you know, it's a really big place. And I'm sort of going, you know, if they each have one, there'd be about 12 or 15 in the place, and I'm sort of going, I'd nearly prefer to go to somebody that worked at their house and they were just one-to-one, and they could be PPE and I could be PPE, and that would be safer than a whole big hodgepodge of a big salon.
And it's also the amount of people that
I haven't Yeah.
Well, we'll see. I don't know now. I might have to rethink my nails.
No, you go and tell me how it works.
No. Because
You
you know
go to
what?
St. Gerard.
Wouldn't it be
Yeah.
awful if that's what happened? You know, that you decided to go back and then the next thing you end up you were sick, or you brought it home. It's for me, it's bringing it home. You know, because I've only just got to see mommy and daddy after 13 weeks of not
But the
seeing them.
say of it looks as if it's going to be another wave of it, you know, come
Well,
the
my
winter
brother,
anyway.
he got a letter. He got his letter yesterday, day before yesterday, and it says on it that now it's the biggest pile of nonsense. It says, come, I can't remember the date in July. It's a date in July or the end of June where he no longer has to shit. But it says you can go out, but don't feel you have to go out. It's basically like Boris's speech. You know that nonsense.
I go to work.
yeah.
Stay at home.
Well, the letter is actually very like that. You know, don't feel that you have to do this. Go out, but if you go out, stay alert and blah, 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 blah. So Paul's like, I was never out beforehand, so nothing's going to change.
Yeah.
But it's for him, it's for us bringing something back to him, you know. I don't know.
See, that's the worry, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And it's not worth it, you know. It really isn't worth it. As much as I'd like to get back to normality soon.
Well, I find a good spray online that has sort of blended in my roots. It's a peroxide spray, so every time I wash my hair, I just spray a bit on it, and it's going the colour I quite like. So I'm all right at the minute. So I'm not sort of worried about, you know, my colour just at the minute. But
Right.
I'm not
I
long
don't
till I need to go.
What do we do? I'm at the end of row 5 now.
Okay, so row 6 is the row that I just did there now. Michelle, sorry. So all you're going to do is do 1 half treble in each stitch the whole way across.
Okay.
But we're doing 2 in the eye thing. And then
Yes, you're doing 2 in each eye the whole way across.
I just have to be off.
And this is a half treble we're doing.
Yes, the whole way across, please.
So this like puts a top on the star this time more
Yes,
so.
it is, yeah.
That looks like we should do it rightly. It's only me that's going to be wearing it anyway.
Well, sure, nobody else knows what it's supposed to look like.
We know.
So
right.
as long as you've been consistent the whole way along, that's the way I look at it.
That sounds good. Like that plan now.
We'll all be remembered lockdown is the time that was sort of we all learned to do different things in crochet. Well,
I know.
that's from supposed to speak for myself, but I'll sort of be going. That was the time I learned to do that. I done the willow square and I made the cowl and I made bags.
But it is, that's what we'll all be looking back and saying.
Every time the postman come, he was bringing wool.
Mine was between wool and material.
That is some storm this evening.
What?
And
That is
then
some
it's hanging
storm.
the wool out on the washing line till spraying it in Dettol fabric spray. And so my washing line is just full of balls of wool that have come in the post. So that's how loopy I am. So there you go. There's a secret for you.
Yeah. When you
Yeah.
come to the end, so you've done the 2 in each eye, then you do a half treble at the very end, just
In the
to
very end one, yes, just to straighten the row out.
do it all. Good.
You, Linda, how are you getting on? You're very quiet.
Not too bad. My mummy just came in there, so I had a mood. She came in and was nearly on top of us to see what was going on. My sister's husband fell out of the attic on Saturday.
My God.
Jesus.
And I thought he just cracked ribs, but he was actually taken down. He had been transferred back up to Daisy Hill on Saturday night, and they've taken him back down to Craigavon today to put him on a ventilator.
Oh my
Oh my
God.
God.
I think he has.
His lung or something.
Well, they think he has damaged the wall of his heart.
Oh God.
So it's a bit all up in the air, you know. So they're giving him. They're sort of saying, you know, he needs to be ventilated now to try and heal.
So no, that's not the one that's expecting. No.
No,
Is it one of your
husband, Paul?
Oh Jesus, right? So he works in Daisy Hill. Is he off at the minute?
Yeah. Well, he wasn't.
Well, he's off now.
He wasn't. He's off now. Like, obviously.
Yeah. No,
Jesus.
he missed his foot, and he was getting stuff for decorating out of the attic, and tripped on the dust sheets. Came straight out of the attic and hit a sleigh bed, the end of the sleigh bed. And he's broken a couple of ribs, but it's more the damage that he seems to have done to the heart. Now,
Yeah. Jesus, just be very careful. Them broken ribs can do a lot of damage.
well, I'm more worried about the fact that he's been put into an induced coma and
Ventilator.
ventilator now. You know.
Sorry,
Scary
I'm
stuff.
breaking your conversation. Catherine,
All right.
so you've done the 2 half trebles in each across. You've done row 6.
Yeah.
You're waiting for 7.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, no, God love him, Linda.
I know, and you know what? He's a great pain threshold, and he would just mosey on, sort of thing. And he was like, he was happy enough when they were just giving him painkillers, but his breathing was terrible, and his heart was racing, and they ended up giving him an epidural, last night to try and bring everything down and settle it, and it just wasn't even touching it. So this is what they've come up with. So
I think you hear so much about ventilators now at the minute that you're just so apprehensive.
That's it. That's exactly it. I've heard more about ventilators in the last 3 months than I ever did. I didn't know anything about them before this.
Ladies, can I ask you what row the rest of you guys are on?
The double treble
Ready for the puff?
or the half trebles into the
So row 6.
6, yeah.
Emma, what about you? I love that smile, Emma. Where are you?
See row 6, right? See my second row stars. Whatever I've done wrong. So rather than just pull it out, I'm going to pull it out again and start again, because whatever it is, it has done that sort of puckering again that it has.
Okay.
I went on ahead and started doing puffs, and yes, they are easy enough by the look of it. Yeah. So, but it looks very untidy.
Do you want to pull back to the first row of stars and put the 2 trebles?
No, because we'll be here all night, Fiona. I'll do it in my own time.
Are you sure?
So, yes, positive, because I think I know myself. I raced on ahead thinking, oh, I know what I'm doing here. And
listen,
when
I think anybody that crochets does exactly the same thing. It's like, oh, I've got it. Oh, wait.
Yeah, that's it. So it's the row where you do the second row of stars. I must have skipped and went into another one, and then it's starting to gather up a bit.
There's not enough room for them, maybe.
No, and then it looks really sort of bunched up a bit here. So I says, I'm not undoing this now. It's too soul destroying. So I'm just going to tear on, and I'll do it again later.
I also think, so do you see, if you guys sit down tomorrow with this or whatever day and you have the video playing in the background now, I know there's a load of chat in it, but because the video is there, it's different, and you're doing it at your own pace, and you're not having to concentrate on somebody talking to you or whatever. It is different. It's the same as watching a YouTube video. It's just a matter of just watching away and doing.
Yeah, so I am planning, I am row 7, like hurry up, Easons, I don't know what's keeping you.
Yeah, I never did that. Do you know that border that you were showing us that night? I just couldn't go back.
Yeah.
Every woman was doing her choir in the middle of it.
Oh, yeah.
No, I just never went back. Like, I just couldn't get my head around it, so I didn't. What do you call that wee one? That stitch. You went back and you're
Oh, a crab.
crab
Crab.
stitch.
Yes.
Well, the link that Fiona
Am
sent
I right
back
in saying
did help.
Are you right in saying what?
this puff stitch has got 11 times wrapped around it?
Yes, I think so. Hold on, I got to double check. Yep,
Well,
it is.
this is,
That
I
seven
don't
is the tough one.
So there is a puff, a popcorn, and a bobble, and they're all slightly different, but they're all the most commonly confused stitches, and I'm just as guilty as doing it. Ladies, is everybody ready to be showing the puff? Is it all
No, I'm
in
not.
row 7?
Not just yet, another couple stitches, but if you want to go on, that's okay.
Right, I'll just show Heather here just for a wee minute, and Catherine, I think you're ready as well, aren't you?
Yep.
Okay, so you chain 3 just as you normally would, and that chain 3 is going to count as a treble. We're going to skip that one stitch, so not the stitch here because that's our treble and it counts as a stitch. We're going to skip the next one, and in the next one we're going to puff. So yarn over and then into the hole. We're going to pull through, yarn over into the hole and pull through, yarn over into the hole and pull through, and I need to count how many I've got on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So yarn over, in again, pull through, count again. Do you know, I should have known how many times to go in. Hold on. And of course it doesn't tell you. How bad is that designer? She's useless. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Shit, my phone's going
5,
off.
6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, that'll be 10 and 11. So you keep putting the yarn over and pulling through until you have 11 loops on your hook. So it'll look, you see the way it's gathered there, like a huge puff. And you put your yarn over and you pull through everything. And then you chain 1 to close it. And then you're going to skip the next stitch and you're going to do another puff in there. So you're just going to keep doing that yarn over, pulling through until you have 11 on. I think it's 4 times you go in. 4 times looks right. And chain 1 to finish off. So you see, it's a lovely texture, that puff stitch.
I had to move the phone there because I was about to run out there.
5. 1, 2, 3.
I think this is one where I need my, just a plain hook, not a hook with a handle on it. I like a lot of room till.
They all should fit on. Ladies, it's 5 times you put the yarn over and go in and pull up a loop. It's 5 times in total. So
you put the yarn over before you go in the first time?
Yeah, so I'm just going to do it with you there. So put the yarn over into the hole. So just like a normal treble and pull through. The secret to a puff is, you see whenever you pull through, if you pull up a little bit. So you don't want it down here, you want it here. So not down close to the stitch, you want it there. Then you put your yarn over again and go in. That's twice. Yarn over in, that's 3 times. Yarn over in 4 times. Yarn over in 5 times. So as Heather's saying there's an awful lot of stitches, but those stitches should all be piling on top of each other. They shouldn't be really spread out along the width of your hook.
Yeah, I think it's just, again, it's one of the ones where, I don't know, I think it was like the stitch we had before, the puff. I got onto it by just using a plain metal hook,
Yes.
and then
it was the
I don't know, I was able to do it better with my, yeah. So I would say this one's the same, and I don't have one handy, but I don't know, it's just the way I crochet. It just gives me more, more space till I get my attention.
Even I go to the end of row 6. What do I do?
So you're doing what we're doing now. Oh no, hold on. Yes, you're doing what we're doing now.
Yeah, I'm ready too. Sorry.
So do I chain 3?
Yes. So you chain 3. It counts as your first treble, and then you're going to skip a stitch, and then you're going to go into the next stitch, Michelle. And you're going to put your yarn over as if you're going to create a stitch, a treble stitch, and you pull through. So do you see, like that, you've got 3 loops on. You'll put your yarn over, go back in again, pull through.
The same stitch or a different stitch?
Exactly the same stitch, and you're going to repeat that 5 times until you have 11 loops on your hook. So as I say, you'll not really be able to count the loops unless you squish them all out and pull them apart, but you should have 11, and then yarn over and pull through.
Right, hold on. I'm all over the place here. Go again.
I have no idea how many I'm on.
So, right.
But you know what? You don't have to, like I'm saying 11. You know, if you only have 10 loops or 8 loops, it's still going to be a puff stitch. You know, it'll still work.
Oh my God.
Do we put yarn over before we go in? No,
Yes,
shit.
yeah, yarn over before you go in. Because it's
Right.
just, it's like a treble stitch, Michelle. So it's like you're doing a treble 5 times just without finishing it off.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Johnny, you don't chain one in between each puff or anything?
You chain one to close the puff
3.
off. It should say that in the instructions for the puff.
Oh, for the puff. And do you know what it is? Right, didn't see that.
Does it say that in the puff? Let me see.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, it does. So it says chain one to close. You'll find that a puff and a bobble are kind of the same. That you need the chain one just to close that off and to
That's what I was thinking. It didn't look right. That makes sense then.
4, 5,
Chain one.
6,
Chain one to close. There.
8, 9, 10.
So then pull them all off.
and pull them all off. Yep, and then chain one to close.
Okay, so it looks like a wee ball of stuff.
Yeah,
You make
it
a
looks,
wee hash
it's
out of
wee
this.
textured, like a wee ball, just a wee ball of texture, that's all it is.
Right, so what do I do now then?
So then you skip one, or well, you chain one first of all, Michelle, to close it.
I did, yeah.
Yeah, then you
Close
skip
it.
one, and then you do the same in the next stitch. So it'll be puff, skip one, puff, skip one, puff, skip one the whole way across. And then from this point on in the pattern, then it's everything worked backwards. So you're going to do
Yes, so that's it.
your half treble, and then your 2 rows, your star stitches, then your mesh row, and then your full treble row, and then that's it. And you see for the buttons, they're natural holes already created whenever you're doing it, because you have, you know, the hole at the puff row, you have the hole at the mesh row, and you'll have the hole at the other mesh row that'll naturally be your buttonholes. And when you're coming to sew it, do you see the row just beneath? So this row here and this row here, that's where you'll sew your buttons onto, so that it's naturally just going to fit over the top.
So when we have 7 done, we repeat then from what? What's row 8 then?
Michelle, if you get your pattern in front of you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So when do we repeat, you know, start again, if you know what I mean?
Well, sure, row 8 tells you to do your half treble across. So that's row 8 is a repeat really of what row 6 is. It's just written slightly differently because there's no eye of a star to go into. Then row 9 is the repeat of row 4 because it's the start.
Right, no, that's grand. I just wanted, 4 and 9 is the same. Right.
9 will be 4, 10 will be 5, 11 then will be 6, and then 12 is just your mesh row, which was row 2. No, it wasn't. Yeah, it was. Mesh row was row 2.
Right. Okay. Oh, that's I've just compared, so I know what.
So the only thing that we haven't covered here tonight, but you will be able to manage this on your own, because you've all done a border with me at some point. So row 14 is telling you that when you come to the end, you don't finish off. So when you've done your final row of trebles, you don't finish it off. Instead, you treat that stitch as a corner stitch and you put 3 double crochets in. So that's the little small stitch. So you don't put your yarn over, first of all, you just go straight into the hole and you pull through. You put 3 and then you evenly work a double crochet the whole way around your scarf, and it just finishes it off. Now, row 14 is optional. You don't have to do it. It's just to me, it just flattens it all off nicely, and then you'll put your little tassels on. And again, you don't have to put your tassels on either. Some of the girls that were doing the test, and they just left the tassels off because they thought it was a nicer scarf, plus they didn't like tassels. So it's entirely up to yourself what way you want to do it.
I've thread and everything caught here. on me ball. Trying to be sewing and crocheting at the same time. Do they look right? Sorry, I'm sideways here with fucking.
Alright, hold on, I'll put that back over.
Other
And
side.
see.
Can you?
Oh, I can't even see your video. Hold on, right there you are. Yes,
Can you see them?
that's what they should look like. Yep. So just they're
That's
just
okay.
like little puffs, just little wee
Right.
puff stitches.
No bother. Chain 2 counts.
Is it just me or is anybody else having problems pulling the hook back through all those loops?
Okay, so
Yeah.
if you're having problems, that's coming from tension. So do you see at this point when you put your hook in and pull that yarn, pull the yarn
Yeah.
up. So do you see the way it's nice and loose? Put the yarn over
Yeah.
with no tension at all.
Yeah.
Back in, pull through and pull up. Yarn over, back in, through, pull over and pull up. So if you have any sort of tension at all, it'll be very hard to get the hook through. The hook should just, when you do that final one, put the yarn over it. That hook, when you hold, another tip is maybe to hold the base of the stitch and pull that through. Look, wouldn't you know, it wouldn't do it. So you just pull it through and it should all come through, and then chain one. So it's if you've been tight, so I'm going to do a tight puff this time, so where I'll pull it
Yeah,
tight,
it's
like
just
a normal
impossible.
treble. It is impossible because especially if that first treble there is tight, so your third loop, there's no way the rest of the loops are going to come through that third loop. So anybody who has a slightly tighter tension needs to consciously go pull through, pull up. So yarn over, go through, pull up, yarn over into the hole, pull through, pull up. And that pulling up motion should hopefully give you enough tension that it should come through more smoothly. Catherine, is that working a little bit better?
Yeah.
Marie, what about you? Is that working better now?
I don't know, I'll tell you now.
Oh, what time of night is it?
Oh,
Jesus.
yeah, that has worked.
Yeah. So just if you think pull through, pull up, pull through, pull up, and that should sort you. Marie, I just realised I was supposed to come down and meet you with that hoop. I haven't.
Oh, don't worry. So there's no worry. When's
Yeah,
it
that's
for?
all
Next week?
I don't even know when it's for. I'll send you a message tomorrow.
Not to the end of the month, is it not?
Oh,
The
no,
end
well then
of
that's all
July.
right. It's ages.
The Mandela. No, it's okay because I sent the money for the class and the Mandela this evening.
I know. Well, don't worry about that. No,
And I'll send the £20 for the other one for the big cardigan, and then I looked and I said, "That's full."
No, well, I'm looking there at dates, and I might run it on the Tuesday, and I might run it from next Tuesday. Next Tuesday, maybe for 3 weeks. Yeah, just leave it with me for now. I need to just double check that there's nothing.
We've nothing else this week, have we?
Nope.
Should really start writing it all down.
Oh, here I
Having
am.
the calendar
No, classes during the day tomorrow. I have to rearrange them too because of going up to Craigavon. I really don't want to go, but I have to. No, nothing this week. And then next week is the wee African coasters. They're lovely, and you know what? They're really, really enjoyable to make.
Takes you a while to do these puffy things, doesn't it? Or is it just
does,
me?
yeah. So
no, it takes you a while, all right.
So the main bulk of the yarn in this is used between the star stitch and the puff stitch. Those are your two yarn eaters. So sorry, ladies. So if you see a blanket, if you're trying to gauge how much yarn you'll need, and you see a blanket with a puff stitch in it, you'll automatically know that it's taken. I think it's 8 times the yarn that you would need to use a normal treble.
Wow.
So it's definitely a yarn eater. C2Cs are the same. C2Cs are yarn eaters. Now they're lovely and they work lovely and they're my favourite.
I know, because I thought, like, I only done that wee cushion, and I thought, Jesus, that's fucking awful lot of wool to do that wee cushion cover.
I think like a throw generally takes 7 balls, those big baby marble chunkies. So it's quite a lot of wool.
So is this us finishing now tonight, and we just continue on with this?
You just continue on, and what I'll do is then I'll send you the wee link. Now, because of the amount of time this video is, so we started at 7 and it's now 9:20. So by the time this compresses and then uploads to YouTube, it could be tomorrow.
No, that's grand. That's
quite
okay.
a long time, but yeah, as
Just
long as you're
hear,
happy.
I don't hear the child, anybody putting the child to bed, so I better go and see what
I was just going to say, Michelle, as long as you guys are happy enough to go on from that point, you know, that you do know what you're doing. But
we could be torturing you.
No, not at all. Once you reach that puff, you know what you're doing. You've already done it, so it's just more or less more of the
It's
same.
looking nice now, so it is. It's looking the part. So it is. So hopefully I won't get the weather to wear it for a good while, like, but anyway.
Well, here, judging by the night that it is tonight, you could be out.
Jesus, here wasn't the weekend? A weekend. It was like a winter's night, wasn't it? Was it Saturday night? It was like a
Saturday night was terrible.
Oh, Jesus, it was desperate altogether. So it was.
But do you know,
right,
isn't it very strange? Our weather has completely changed. Like when we were all in lockdown, the weather was really lovely. And now we're able to go out a little bit and we're all stuck in the house.
I know, it's desperate, isn't it?
I know.
Right, here, listen, I'm going to love you and leave you. Go and see what's going on.
Not a bother, Michelle.
Okay, keep in touch.
Bye.
Okay, bye.
Everybody is still concentrating very hard. I'm so sorry. I'm not really, like, but I'll pretend I'm sorry. It is enjoyable. It really, I promise. Marie, you look totally fed up.
No, it's working now. Jesus.
I'm sorry to cause so much stress.
Yeah, I'll be happier. I'll rip this back to the goldy color and then just do it all from there. Because it's, the pattern's sort of lost in that wool.
That's the thing. Variegated yarns are really lovely to work with, but you have to have the right stitches. Because it, like, even the like of a fillet, sometimes it gets completely lost. Like, do you know what? I'll give you an example of how a pattern can get lost. What do I say? So Pauline, my blanket that I've been working on from March, the bane of my existence, named for my lovely mother, is finally ready and will be ready to launch this weekend. But so I'm going to show you some of them. So this here is a lady called Gail's version of it. So it's lovely done in the one color.
The pink one, yeah.
You can see all the lovely design in it. And then, now this is still lovely, but I think it gets lost a little bit. So you can't see, you know, it just looks, the colors, don't get me wrong, the colors are absolutely lovely, but the pattern of the
that's what you see.
is lost, you know. It really is
you
lost.
notice the colors more so than the pattern.
Yeah. And if you see what it's, so my version of it is.
Your purple one's beautiful. That's just stunning.
Yeah.
Well, that's it there. That's what it's supposed to look like.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
It's an awful photograph of it there too. But
just threw over the gate.
Just threw over the gate.
It couldn't be any more clear with that gate, so it couldn't.
But you say it, I mean, about, you know, a variegated yarn is lovely, but it just it doesn't always work. There was another one of mine somebody did in a variegated, it didn't work. Oh, this. So if I go to, oh no, she hasn't even uploaded it yet, so I can't even show you. But she had done it in like a multicolored thing, so it didn't work either. But no, I love variegated, but it just depends what you're variegating. And I will not be doing a tutorial for that.
No, that would be a
I
100 part
will.
magazine.
I am
so
telling you
it would
now. I will never make that blanket again. Never, ever,
No
ever.
way.
While Pussy's a cat, that blanket has just taken so much to get to where it ended up. Now, don't get me wrong, it's lovely and I'm very, very happy with it. But I have made that blanket about 62 times. I will never make it again. Counting all them bloody stitches. So no, never ever again.
See, just for this cowl, a 6mm, is that right?
A 6mm is, I designed it to be a little bit looser. So you see mine, this is mine done in double knit with a 5mm because it's designed to be slightly more loose. So if you are using iron, you're really supposed to be using a 5mm hook with iron. But because I wanted a little bit looser, then you do it with a 6. So it's entirely up to you. It is a bit quicker, you know, with it being a little bit looser, it'll be a wee bit quicker. It also, sometimes I think the corresponding hook size can be a little bit rigid. So it's not as soft. The yarn becomes more soft whenever you've got a bigger hook. So like a double knit with a 5mm hook will always be a little bit softer feeling, a wee bit more airy and a little bit more gappy. Now, depending on the pattern, C to C done with a 5mm hook and double knit is lovely.
Too big.
No, it's lovely. It's actually really lovely. It just depends. Like I'm working on a new one at the minute, and it needs to be tight. So it's a 4mm with the double knit, and it's nice and it's actually really, really warm. That's why I haven't really been doing too much work with it because it's too warm to try and knit with.
I lost everybody.
No, can you hear?
No.
You're frozen, Jennifer. Your picture's frozen. Can you still hear us? Nope.
These puffed sticky edges.
Sorry.
They look cool, but the sticky edges. It's probably because I keep dropping the wool or losing my stitch and then having to pull it back a bit.
5. I was considering doing a blanket with these, and I don't think I will.
If you're going to do a blanket and you want it puffs, I would go baubles rather than puffs. Baubles.
Okay, how many's in a bauble?
Hold on.
Was it
I think a bauble's only 5.
5 or 7? We had
Do you see the difference between the two stitches? Oh yeah, so a bauble you take off 2 and you go back in and you take off 2. No, yes, no, you do that, don't you? Yes, you do. That's it. That's a bauble. See what I mean about knowing? And then the bauble works the opposite. So you finish it on the right side. You have to work a bauble on the wrong side because it comes out the opposite side. And then there's a popcorn, which is kind of like the bauble, except, hold on, we'll get to the end. 3, 4, 5. When you have your 5 halves done, you take your, no, that's not right. Popcorn, Jesus, I told you I always get mixed up in these. So you do 5 trebles for a popcorn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you take your hook out, you put your hook back into the first treble, you put your hook back into the last treble, and you pull through, and that makes the popcorn come to the front rather than the bobble at the back.
Yes.
And then you chain them. But you see, they're all so very, very similar, and it takes you, well, for me, it takes me a while to figure out which ones are which.
Yes.
Back all right, Jennifer, then?
Yes, my internet just, it said your internet's unstable and everybody was frozen. And I was like, is this my computer or what's wrong?
Yeah, Friday nights tend to go like that too. So I think most people must be on doing Zooms or whatever, and you'll get the little message up. Or actually Tuesday mornings I get it as well, whatever Tuesday mornings are, that your internet's unstable. I just take it that I'm unstable maybe, and that's what it is.
I've just come across a big bit of a if you maybe you can see, you know, like a fuzzy bit that hasn't been, and it's just hitting the wrong place. But I can't do nothing about it now. Like, but
if you pull it back just a little bit and wet your fingers and rub
right and spin it up. Well,
between your,
I think I need maybe to go up a hook maybe to make this looser. So I think maybe when I'm trying it again, it's grand, like, but I think it would be a bit longer and it would be, as you said, a wee bit freer and a wee bit looser. So, but I've just that big fuzzy bit there that's horrible.
Yeah, no, if you do rub it between your fingers, should be able to pull it back in. Sometimes you have to pull the excess fibers out of it as well. Ladies, I'm going to stop that recording just now because we've kind of got to that point